And welcome back. Well, earlier in the show, we told you about a recent trip the group Common Ground went on to tour agriculture facilities in Nebraska.
The tour allowed professionals in several different industries to see how our food is produced. Those professionals will use what they have learned to inform customers on issues like GMOs, hormones, and methane production. Pure Nebraska reporter Kristen Bauer was along on the trip, and she joins us now with some of the highlights of that tour.
Yes, hello again, John and Taryn. One of the stops on the trip was J S Feedlots near Dodge. Now, it's a business that specializes in raising cattle, but they also grow crops like corn, soybeans, and alfalfa. While there, we learned a lot about the use of hormones and antibiotics, which are both big issues in the beef industry. One of the owners, Joan Ruskamp, took the time to address some of those issues and talk about concerns many consumers have when it comes to treating livestock. She says both are regulated and only used when necessary to the animal's well-being. On top of that, though, a big component to Ruskamp's operation is caring for livestock in tough conditions. While on the tour, I took time to ask Joan how she keeps cattle cool in extreme heat and humidity.
I mean, in the wintertime, we think of blizzards as being really hard. Cattle actually can handle cold weather better than heat. And so we're utilizing things like shade trees and misting systems. It's a water line that goes along their bunk where they eat, and then they kind of spread out, and then that cool mist water blows out over them. We also have those shade trees because when you're in the sun versus under shade, there's a dramatic difference in temperature. And so what we're trying to do is just keep those cattle cool during like these major heat index days of maybe 110. That's tough on people and animals. And so we're trying to do everything we can, continually monitoring cattle all day and even into the evening, because sometimes the evening can be the worst time because of the humidity. The wind might go down. And so we were just continuous monitoring, just like you would do in any kind of a snowstorm. First you prepare, and then you get through the storm by doing everything you can to take care of everyone in the best way you can.
Joan tells me tours like this are essential so people get a behind-the-scenes look at what goes into producing the beef we all buy at the grocery store. It's also a great way to see the hard work many Nebraskans put in and day out to feed the people around the world. And John and Taryn, I'll have more on some of the other stops on the tour later this week and talk about GMOs and methane production. But for now, I'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kristen. And of course, our thanks to Common Ground for allowing Kristen to go on that bus tour. And I know we learned a lot. We're looking forward to sharing some of those stories with you as well over the next few days.